Back in 2008, LeBron faced trick shot specialist David Cobb in a little game of horse at Venice Beach. But here's the thing, guys. LeBron would go on to lose that game of horse to Cobb. So, Shannon, how embarrassed should LeBron have been about losing?
He shouldn't be embarrassed at all, Skip. He's a trick shot artist, which has nothing to do with the game of basketball. Skip, there are great billiard players, but there are also players that all they do is trick shot on the billiard table. They shouldn't be mad. Skip, you know what? This is another opportunity for you to try to throw, Skip, you make me sick. I just want you to know you make me sick. LeBron James should not feel embarrassed losing to a guy that his specialty is trick shots, not playing basketball, kicking the ball into the net, throwing the ball behind his back, or doing whatever he did. Skip, stop this. LeBron James is the GOAT. I don't care what you do to try to diminish him. It's not going to happen. He's GOAT, GOAT, GOAT.
I did not make this up. This video is viral all over the internet. It's from 2008 on Venice Beach. You can watch it. I watched the whole thing. He got skunked by a little white guy half his size who never played pro basketball. He did clever shots, but he didn't do kick-in shots. He didn't do silly shots. He did basketball shots. And I've told you from the start, LeBron has never been comfortable doing standalone things on a basketball court, such as shoot free throws, especially late in games, dunk contests, never did them, and horse competitions, not comfortable in that. He had his chance. He could have done his shots, which I'm sure he tried to do, and he missed his shots, and he gave the little guy openings to do his bounce shots, but there were a lot of basketball shots where he caught it in the air and turned and shot jumpers, and LeBron couldn't pull that off because I think he was a little nervous.
I thought you said if you do horse, you wanted only basketball plays, only basketball shots. That's not a basketball shot.
Good stuff today, guys. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow. The Herd is coming up next. Be well. Welcome back to Undisputed. Last week, a fan poll crowned Michael Jordan the college basketball GOAT. But over the weekend, Bill Walton weighed in and he said, wait just a second. The GOAT is actually Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, not MJ. So, Shannon, this question for you. Do you still feel as strongly as you did before that Kareem is the GOAT?
Skip, we can debate a lot of things on here, and we do. We can debate who's the GOAT of quarterbacks, who's the greatest player in football. We can debate that. We can have a discussion about who's the greatest basketball player. You say Jordan, I say LeBron. We can debate about that. There are a lot of things we can debate about. But there's one thing that we should never, ever debate, and that's who's the greatest college basketball player of all time. It's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and it's not even close. Now, Walton has a case for being second. Now, Bill Walton won 3 National Players of the Year. He was a 3-time All-American. He was 2 times Final Four Most Outstanding Player. He was a part of a team that won 88 straight games, Skip, and if you remember, they lost, I think, November or maybe even December to the Notre Dame team. Digger Feltz just lost to his Notre Dame team. They ended up losing, I think, in the semifinals to North Carolina State, David Thompson, who the Skywalker that ended up winning the Final Four that year. Skip, it's not even close. There should never been a discussion. When it comes to certain things, there should not even be a discussion. Who's the greatest college basketball player? It should be Kareem. The first word out of everybody's mouth should be Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Skip. For me, Michael Jordan is not even the top 10. Not top 10 college. Tell me he had a better career than, Kareem, Bill Russell, Christian Laettner, Walton, Patrick Ewing, Ralph Sampson, Tim Duncan. Ralph Sampson, Skip, won 4 ACC Player of the Year. He was 3-time All-American, 3-time. Come on, Skip. Look, I love Jordan. He's great, but you cannot take what he did in the NBA and transport it back to college. He had a very good college career. But Skip, Christian Laettner, Skip, he didn't even have the greatest college career on the Tar Heels. Tyler Hansbrough had a better college career than Michael. You know that, Skip. Stop this. This is not to diminish the man. He played unbelievable. And I agree. Maybe Coach Smith held him back. But to say Michael Jordan with one player of the year, one, and one Final Four, Skip, why didn't he get back to the Final Four once big game James Worthy left? If he's that dude, he got back. So for me, it's not even close. It should be everybody, out of everybody's mouth, instantaneous, the whole world. The greatest college basketball player, all 7 billion people should say in unison, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And you know it, Skip. You need to stop this.
I haven't started yet, but I'm about to. I'm about to unleash on you. I love your line. This is not to diminish Michael Jordan. Yes, it is. That's all you're trying to do.
No, it's not.
Because it is haunting you. It is driving you out of your mind that the fans on the ESPN poll voted Jordan the greatest college player, on top of the fact that you know and I know he's the greatest NBA player ever. And just to sort of piggyback and echo what you're saying about Kareem as a college player, everybody out there except you and a few billion blind witnesses know that Michael Jeffrey Jordan was the greatest basketball player in history, the greatest performer in the history of sports. You out of everybody's mouth should come Michael Jordan as soon as the GOAT question comes up. And you are haunted this week. You're driven crazy by the fact that you know there's a buildup on ESPN toward the Last Dance documentary that is coming up on Sunday night on ESPN, featuring the life and times as a Chicago Bull of Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I can't wait for it, but you know and I know that this week is going to be dedicated to the buildup of that. So now you hear Bill Walton say, oh, well, it's obviously Kareem was the greatest college player ever. And you did fail to remind everybody that Bill Walton followed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, then Lou Alcindor, at UCLA. So they're UCLA brethren. That, yes, that's why he's going to defend Kareem, is because Bill was a Bruin just like Kareem was a Bruin. So I get that. But Shannon, I just need to put this back in perspective. Did Kareem ever hit a shot to win the national championship game with 15 seconds left, a jump shot from about 20 feet to win the national championship for the Tar Heels? No, right?
Skip, is that what you basically, Skip? First of all, I thought we've gone through this. He hit the shot with 15 seconds. So there was still time. If Freddie Brown does not make the blunder, Skip, he thought his guy, the guy tried to go and he went back door, and he didn't realize the guy was going back door, and James Worthy overplayed it, and he threw the ball to James Worthy. Skip, I get it. Michael hit that shot. They ended up winning the game. But Skip, he won one national title. He was not the most outstanding player in that game. James Worthy. That season, James Worthy was National College Player of the Year. In the following year, guess who was National College Player of the Year? Ralph the 7'4" Sampson. Now, I'm confused. If Michael Jordan is the GOAT, why wasn't he Player of the Year? Why wasn't he ACC Player of the Year? Ralph Sampson was. You know how I know? Because I was a big Ralph Sampson fan, and I followed it. At Virginia, Ralph Sampson. Look it up. Go ahead.
I thought you told me you were a Carolina Tar Heel fan. That's what you told me. Am I right about that?
Skip, I am a Tar Heel fan. I was and still am a Tar Heel fan. But I had never seen anything as tall as Ralph. 7'4", Skip. I'm like, man, he's just dunking on everybody's head.
Thank you for bringing that up. So before I leave behind the shot from 20 feet that won the national championship in the greatest collection of talent I've ever seen on one floor, 1982 NCAA Finals. I was there in New Orleans at courtside watching some kid named Mike Jordan take and make that shot. They were down one. It was do or die. I realize that Freddie Brown threw it to James Worthy, but still, that's 15 seconds left. You were down one, and he said, let me take that shot. And that was the first glimpse of the GOAT. Now, we're talking about a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar who is, as Lou Alcindor, 7 feet 2 inches tall. Ralph Sampson, 7'4". So, again, they were so tall, it was unfair. You couldn't stop them at the college level because you're looking down at it's Gulliver and the Lilliputians. You're just looking down at a bunch of little guys, and you can just lay it in over them, and nobody could stop Kareem. And I've told you before, in his first 2 years, couldn't play as a freshman, sophomore, junior years, he had the 2 best guards in America in Lucius Allen and Mike Warren, both pro players. Mike Warren didn't go pro because he decided to become a big TV star, which he was, Hill Street Blues. And then by Kareem's 3rd year, he had Sidney Wicks, who was going to be the 2nd overall pick in the draft. And he also had Curtis Rowe, who was going to be the 11th overall pick in the draft. They were loaded with John Wooden talent, and he had, obviously, what most people consider the greatest coach ever. And yeah, they won every finals by a landslide because it was not fair. Although when it was a fair fight one night in the Astrodome on a Saturday night, a game I watched live, Elvin Hayes just took Kareem all apart. Kareem was 4 for 18. That was the first time they played. Kareem got revenge the next time around the next year. I will give you that.
Blew the doors off it.
Michael Jordan, here's the point. Michael Jordan